Yeah, I'm logging into my Salesforce application. So in the previous class, we are discussing about this user module. So the users, and we discussed about a little bit about roles also in the previous class. And we thought of going to profess, and we don't have time. That's the bigger topic. Okay. So in this class, I would like to show you some scenarios how it works. Okay, how different profile users will have different level of access. Okay, and so I'm going to choose some two profile users, and I would like to show the demo by logging into them, by logging as them, and I would like to show the demo to you. So uh, let's go to profiles. Okay, I think you might have seen the same thing in your classes also, which I have shared with you on the YouTube. I don't know what content is available there. That's a only small video, 1 hour video, which talks about security and sharing things in Salesforce. Okay. So yeah, profiles are required when you are creating user, right? You have to map a user to a profile. The user settings, the user security settings, all these things are generally means configured with profiles, and you have to assign the profiles to the user. These are the profiles. By standard, you will be getting these profiles. Okay, system administrator. These are all standard profiles. For standard profiles, you don't see the edit button. You only see the clone button. You don't see edit button. You don't see even you don't see the delete button also for these standard profiles. Okay, you can modify some settings in standard profiles. That's fine, but you cannot delete them. Okay, the settings, the profiles, you cannot delete them. But if you want a profile which is similar to Service Cloud user, I can clone this. I can click on clone. See, existing profile is Service Cloud. The user license is Service Cloud. License is required for this profile users. So when I'm selecting the Service Cloud in the license type, it automatically shows the available profiles for this license type. Okay. So now in this case, I'm giving it as custom Service Cloud profile. So here I'm showing you how to create a profile from the existing profile, that is standard profile. You can also clone the custom profiles also. The same thing, you can do it with custom profiles. Why we need to clone this? When you are trying to create, I'll show that to you. I'm clicking on save. So now the profile is saved and it's on the screen. And when I'm going to the profiles tab, yeah, I can get a new profile. But what happens when I get a new profile? Everything coming to there are a lot of settings in profiles, but everything I have to build from scratch. Okay. For suppose Salesforce has already given some profiles. For suppose means all type of different set of permissions, different set of sales users, service users, partner users, all these profile users are there. See, partner user, standard platform user, customer portal user, system administrator is the highest means permissions profile in Salesforce, where you can do anything with this profile license. Okay, with this profile. Okay, and there are a lot of profiles. Again, same way you can see marketing user, standard user, contract user, all this stuff. Sales user also you can see it. Maybe on the top. Service. Yeah, marketing user, service cloud user, standard platform user. I think there are 45 things. Standard user. Standard user is the Salesforce. I think it has the general permissions of sales also, it seems. Yeah. So the very basic permissions for standard user. For suppose if I want to create a marketing profile, the better way is instead of building from scratch, just go to the marketing user profile, which is here, marketing user, clone it. Now I'm creating a marketing manager, okay? Marketing manager profile, marketing super user like this, okay? Because this guy is super user where he has special permissions. Again, additional permissions than marketing user, but he's a marketing guy. Okay, I'm clicking on this. Okay, so this is the new profile, which is very cloned one to the existing marketing user. And what happens here? See, I will explain the things what we can do with Salesforce profiles. Okay, so first of all, you can assign different app settings. Okay, you can show different apps to different users, because for marketing user, if you want to show only a marketing app, that's possible here. So how to do that? Click on assign the apps, click on edit. If I click on edit, I see the all the application means some of the applications which are not selected means. So what I will do is I'm going to remove all these applications. Okay, community, call center, conference, content. Oh, easy to app. I'm just doing only LH employees. Sorry, even easy to take also, and all the other apps I'm disabling for this user. Why this is we cannot uncheck this, because we have made this as the default app. That's the reason we cannot uncheck that. If you want to remove that as a default app, here I can select it. Now I can remove this. So I have created a new profile, that is marketing super user. Now this user will be having permissions to access only easier to tech app and marketing app only. When this user log into a Salesforce application, when he clicks on this, you can see only two options. One is easier to tech, that is this, which is already checked here, and the default one when he opens is selected is LH employees. Sorry, the marketing is the default one which is selected. See, this is visible and this is made as default. Means whenever he logs to application, for marketing super users, profile users only, I'm giving this option. Got it? For sales users, I can show a lot of other apps, and I can make some different app as default app, like the sales app as default app, the sales app as the default app for sales users. Okay. So I'm clicking on save. Remember, now what I will try to show is I would like to assign this profile to one of our users in our system, and I would like to log in with them and show them how it works. Okay. So what I will do is I want to log in. I'm logging in with the same user, no matter, but there is other option I showed you, right? Grant access permissions, which helps us to log in into other person's user also, which I showed you in the previous class, and I think on the 1st of Jan. So I'm going back to the user object. Now what I'm doing is I'm assigning this marketing super user profile to one of the person in our system where I have login access permissions. Okay, if you come down, Anita Krishnan has login access permissions. I'm clicking on edit. Okay, see, this is the user. What I'm doing is I'm now changing this profile license to marketing super user, which I can see here. This is the custom profile which can be used when a Salesforce license is selected. When I select Service Cloud license, see, the option is I have very less number of profiles. These are two profiles, right? By default, there's only service cloud profile. This profile I just created today, custom cloud profile. Remember that we did today. But anyway, I want to select only what all profiles I can select with Salesforce licenses. These are the profiles. Out of these, I can only I want to show the demo with marketing super user, which I just created. Click on this, and I'm clicking on save. Now, Anita Krishnan is the user where she is assigned to the marketing super user profile. All the settings which she have will be completely changing now. Earlier, she is a system administrator or some other user. She got some different permissions. Now, as I changed her profile user, the complete settings will automatically change in fraction of seconds. Now I'm clicking on log. I want to click on login to log in as Anita. I don't want to do it here because I want to do the changes here. That's the reason I logged in into the same application with Venkat Gattamaneni only, but in different browser so that my session won't be disturbing me. Okay. Now I'm scrolling back and I'm going to Anita's profile. This is Anita's profile. See, marketing super user, and I'm clicking on login. Why? Means the login button only is enabled only when you go to my settings and give grant access permissions to your system administrator for X number of days. He can give for 1 year, he can give for 60 days like this, but it depends. But I asked her to give permission to me for 365 days, it seems. So I can show how to do that. My settings. If you go to personal grant login access, we click on this. Oh, I don't have permission because I already logged into this guy. What I can do is I can show it from here. This is my settings. Because I don't have permissions to do that because I already logged in as some other user, and I cannot means if I have option to show that, and if I can edit it, system admin only can able to edit that particular option, and he can give extended access for himself, right? That's the reason that permission is not available for after logging in as some different user. So if you click on grant access permissions, now we have an option here. You can give grant access to your system administrator or the Salesforce support or the Evernote support or Symphony support. You can give it to both of them also. I can even give it to 1 day. I click on save. I can even change and I can remove it also. 0 days, no access. Because if I can give that like this, now Salesforce support person can log into our application and he can check that. Okay. I don't want to do that, but anyway, if you have any issues internally, first you share to your internal company administrator. If he is unable to fix, you don't need to share your grant access permissions. He will ask you to share it. Means your company might have confidential data, so that's the reason you don't want to share the things to other people. First, you go with your administrator. If that cannot be fixed, you can take the help of support team. What's the issue and how the things will work on that case? They will help you. Okay. Why I am seeing Evernote support and Symphony support? These are App Exchange applications installed in my system. That's the reason I can also give login access permissions to only that application for Evernote people and for Symphony support people. Okay, this is what happened. Anita have created means some X number of days permissions to me to log into her application and show something to you. Okay, that's the reason I can see the login access permissions. Now, remember in my marketing super user what options I gave. The applications I gave is I gave only EZ2 and marketing. Remember, these are the two applications which I gave access to this Anita user, means marketing super user. That's the reason she can only see this. But before that, if she's assigned to system administrator, she can see the same applications what I can see. That's the difference that can be means that is done with assigned applications in the profile settings. It will show all the applications. We have to check which application should be visible, which application should be default. You can make only one application as default at one time. Okay, at a time you can only make one application as default application. Anyway, I'm going to the profile overview. I'm going back to the main profile, and I can click on this assign connected applications. I can click on edit. This is the other settings what we can do with profiles. So these are connected applications of Salesforce: and migration tool, charter desktop, charter mobile for BlackBerry, data loader partner, Force.com IDE, Force.com files, mobile dashboards, touch, Salesforce for Outlook. These are all third-party applications, connected applications of Salesforce, where you can log in with your Salesforce username and password from mobile, from desktop. These are different applications. First, suppose if this marketing user generally travels all the way on field, means all the way on traveling, then I can give Salesforce mobile, Salesforce mobile dashboard, Salesforce touch, which can be installed on iPad, Salesforce, one for Windows, one for iOS, all these options, so that they can log in with their mobile applications and they can access it anywhere with their, even though they are traveling. Okay, because the mobile apps are better, right, when you're traveling. These are connected applications. If I'm not giving these permissions, these are installed apps available in your system, but these are not available for this guy to be accessible. Now, when Anita is trying to log in with Salesforce desktop, Charter desktop, or Force.com ID, or Charter mobile, or Salesforce touch, or Salesforce one, they won't allow to log in. But if I give these permissions like this, and if I click on save, now she can use only these 4 applications. She can use these 4 connected applications. But for a system admin, all these options are always checked, because that's the guy who is having all permissions, okay, except you. Yeah. Um, yeah. So let's go back. Let's go back to the profile view. So, and the third thing we can do is object settings. This is very important here. In this object settings, you can configure which record types I have to show to this guy. Because if there are 4 record types on the account object, what record types I have to show? All the stuff I can control here with this guy. See. So I'm clicking on, see, these are all the objects available in your system, right? I'm clicking on accounts. So these are the record types available: big account, medium accounts, personal account, small account. These are the medium account, these are the accounts available here. But what record types are available for this guy, I can select this. This is the tab settings. I'll click on it. I'll show all these options at once to you. Okay. So this is the tab settings for the account tab. I can set it for a profile, right? If I give hidden tab, this marketing super user cannot see this account tab at all in any of the applications, and even in the all tabs also. If it is default off, you cannot see the tab in any of the applications, but you can see it in the all tabs. If it is default on, you can see on the applications if that is added on the applications. If it is added to the applications main tabs. Got it? Default off, it's available in plus tabs. By clicking on plus means all tabs. Default on, default off means plus tabs, all tabs. Default on means it's available on the main tabs only if the tab is added to the EJ2 app or marketing app, because this user is having only 2 applications, right? Marketing and EJ2 That's the reason if I am adding this tab to one of the applications, he can see in the main tabs also. Okay. So, and for suppose, again, there are 4 account record types. When I click on new, let's go back and I will show you too. I'm clicking on customers tab. This is called accounts in sales, means I renamed it. And I click on new. What happens here? I have 4 options. Do you want me to control this? Yes, I can do it with profiles. I can show only 2 options for this guy. If I'm making this Anita Krishnan who deals with only big accounts and medium accounts, not with the small account personal accounts, because I want to assign Akshay for handling small accounts and personal accounts. Okay, and there's a marketing guy only take care about big accounts and the medium accounts. If that is my scenario, come here, remove the personal account and small account options here, and the default record type I want to give as big account, so that now I have specially modified the record type access settings for this profile. That's one option I have done here. And again, the object permissions. What this guy can do on the account object. These are called CRUD access. Create, read, write, delete. Sorry, create obviously have read also. So no. Yeah. So read means you can view the data. Create means you can create new data. Okay. If I don't give this permission, if I'm clicking only on edit permission, this guy cannot create new records, but he can modify the existing records created by his subordinates or created by someone who has access to him. Okay. And if you have delete permission, he can delete the record. So the last 2 options is for special people, means if he's the marketing guy, I want to give view all modifiable permissions only on the marketing related objects only. Why view all modify all? So view all modify all permissions are only available for system administrators, delegated administrators, where they can modify and view all data, because these guys will managing the other people. As this is a standard user, I don't want to give view all and modify all on this object. Got it? Create, read, write, delete. I will show some quick demo on this also when I'm in the same page. And before going to fill all permissions, I want to show you the record type demo first. Clicking on save. There are 2 record types, there is big account, medium account, and default is big account. Remember this? I'm clicking on save. Now I'm going back to the other browser because I have logged in as Anita Krishnan here. Put down refresh. Earlier I have seen 4 record types right here, but now everything changes for me. I'm clicking on customer tab, again switching it from start, clicking on new. See, the default account is big account. Earlier it's small account is the default account type. Why it is big account? Because the default record type is big account now. And now if I click on this, I have option to all. I think one other setting is overpassing my thing. I'll check. I will show that option to you in the case. Yeah, I know what's overpassing this. Click on users. I will show that to you. There will be one other concept called permission sets, which will be overriding my settings, which will be adding extra permissions to my user. That's the reason I cannot disable that option. Anyway, I will go to the user first. Clicking on edit. So what happens generally if you are doing only 2 record types for the profile? All the profile users will be having only 2 record types. So I want to see the detail page, not the edit page. Clicking on the detail page to click on. If you click on the name, it will show the detail page. If you scroll down, yeah, here's the permission set. I want to remove this. I want to click on delete. So now go back, click on refresh, click on customer tab, click on customer tab. I want to click on new and check what's happening here. See, this is what happened. The permission set is giving extra permissions. I will tell you why it's happening. That's a different topic. So when I'm controlling the things, I can even control the record types for this profile user for any object. There are hundreds of objects. You can go to any of the object and the profile and you can control it. So you have shown you, because if I again kept default on, it is showing here. If it is default off, it won't show it here. It will show in plus tops. If it is tab hidden, it won't even show this tab anywhere in my application for this Anita user only. Sorry, for this Anita Krishnan as well as the other people who are assigned to the new profile, that is marketing super user profile. Got it? That's how it works. Now let's show the other option to you. I want to click on it again, the same settings. Yeah. So yeah, before modifying, I'll go back to big account. I will create some data before you. Okay. Customer side, something, customer number. Yeah, this is 7-digit number. Customer name, some value I'm giving it as. Number also I'm giving some, I have to do some value number. That's it. I'm trying to save the record. Now I have create permission. That's the reason I'm doing it. There are some permissions that is, please put on the phone number. I haven't done that, so there's no validation earlier. Update. My validation rule is triggering it. You know, right? Why use validation rules? Oh yeah, there's one more thing. I have to put on even the fax number also. I have to disable these validation rules because that's blocking my record creation whenever I'm trying to show the demo to you guys. Yeah, now the record is saved. Can I do one thing? Can I see now? I can. What is clone? Okay, no, let's go back. So if I'm removing the read permissions, every settings is gone. Now if I'm clicking on save, if I'm clicking on refresh on the customers tab, you see the customers tab is completely gone because there is no create, read, write, delete any of the access. That's the reason it's completely gone out of your coverage. Even if you click on plus N also, I think I don't see this customers tab. The reason why you cannot see the tab is because you have removed the, even though if it's default on also, you have removed the object permissions completely out of it. If you have given at least read permissions here, then you can see it, at least you can see it. I'll show it to you. What is the read? Read means now I cannot create the new data, but I can only see the data. Now click on refresh. Now you can see the new tab, that is customers tab, again available, but I don't see the new button available on the customers tab. See, where is the new button? There is no new button at all on the customers tab because there is no remove, there is no create option for this user. That's the reason I cannot. Okay. Yeah. So that's the reason I cannot create new records by Anita user, Anita Krishnan user. She's the marketing super user. That's what I'm modifying only for this user, not for other profiles. Now let's do one thing. Let's create create permissions. Anyway, okay. I'm not modifying any settings here because I have only read permissions now. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to any of the record which I just created. See, that is WR this thing, and even I'm creating a new, opening one more customer record. I am opening a customer record. Generally, you see edit, delete buttons, right? You see these two buttons. Now in this screen, I don't see any of the buttons. Edit and delete. I see a sharing button. This is a different option. This is called manual sharing. If you click on the sharing button, I can share the record to one of my manager, one of my colleague. Who, if I'm going on vacation, hey, can you please work on this customer? I will share this record to this customer, to one of my colleague who will be replacing me for a week or so. I can go back to my vacation. I can go to my vacation and come back. That's what I can do. This is with the manual sharing. I'll show how to do that. Click on sharing. I can click on add. Okay. By clicking on add, I can search any people. I can select the public groups. I can select roles and subordinates, anyone. Okay. But I am creating the user. So let's do one thing. Let's training for. I'm selecting this. Means I'm giving special sharing access to this guy. See what he can do. He can create and read and write the customer. The opportunity access I am giving read and write for these customers, because a customer is the top thing. Account means account is customer. This is the top thing, because the permissions on the account will decide the permissions on opportunity also. That's the reason I want to give you permissions for opportunity access also, because for one account there can be a number of opportunities. I am giving read write permission even for opportunity also, and even read write permission on case also. Now these permissions I am giving specially for training for Salesforce 4 on this account WRWRW. Okay. This is called manual sharing. I can even give to the public groups. What is a public group? Public group is a set of users. I can make 4 people in a public group, and I can share this record to 4 people. Okay, that's a team. If there is a sales team who works with 4 people, I can share this record only to that guy if there's a problem with my account. See, now he has these permissions: read write on customer access, opportunity access, account access, and reason for sharing is manual sharing. That's I know. Anita is got the permissions because she's the owner of the record. Owner of the record will be having all these permissions by default. Full access permissions on the current object, read write on the child object, opportunity object, case object. This is a special thing. Okay. And if I want to remove this thing after a week, I can remove it by clicking on delete. Or else I can even modify the settings on the opportunity access or case access at any point of time by clicking on edit on this record sharing settings. This is called manual sharing. Okay, you might have already seen this type of things in the security video which I shared, but still I'm showing up some options. Okay, but why I'm not seeing the edit and delete button is because this guy, marketing super user profile, don't have the permissions on her profile to delete the record or create the record. That's the reason there is no permissions for him. Let's go back. Let's do edit. Clicking on save. Now put down refresh here. Now you can see only edit permission, not delete permission. Got it? Now you are seeing only edit button. Now I can click on edit. I can modify the record at any point of time. See. Click on save. Now we have edit permissions. So if the same settings, if you want to configure, if you want to control in other tools, we have to do very big classes. You have to write a lot of code, which will take years to build that type of data model for a specific user. But here in Salesforce, less than an hour, you can create the profile according to your customer needs. Just take the requirements. So people generally do things, everything, the profile creation, everything before the customer. If you can take the things requirement at the same time, you can configure the things. no matter, because it generally takes very less time, right? You are controlling the CRUD access very simply on the profiles. So generally what happens when you want to create some different set of permissions for different users, you have to create some separate classes in other way. Okay, if you have to define them first, you have to do all these settings. You have to write special sharing classes, all this stuff in other tools. That will take a lot of time. Okay, and if you want to do the same thing, simply the clone button will work here, but you have to rewrite all the code, copy down all the code, create the similar classes, and do the implementation again from scratch. That's how it works. Now let's do one thing, final thing. Just okay, I want to give all permissions now, even create also and delete also. So even though if you come here, even though I'm giving the edit permissions, if you go to the customers tab, he cannot create the new record. Still, why? Because you don't have new create permission on his account object. If I'm giving create and delete, I'm clicking on save. Now you can put down refresh. Yeah, it takes some time. Yeah, click on refresh again. Yeah, now I got the new button on the customer object. Now I can get the new records. That's possible, right? See, I have only two record types because I have done that. The requirement is that another is only the account marketing director for these two accounts only. And when he go to any account, he have now both the permissions like edit and delete also on the screen. You can control all this stuff or even profiles, right? And what is field settings, field level permissions. For suppose if I want to show some fields or remove some fields for this profile, okay. For suppose you don't want to create different page layouts. You want to control for marketing user. I don't want to see some fields like employee. I don't want to see the employees and the SIC code. Okay, what I have to do is employees is here, right? I want to disable this by clicking on edit. In the field level security, if I am removing the visibility, enable the visibility option, means read. Read means visibility. What I will do is I am removing this. If I am removing this, it automatically unchecks this. See, when you can edit the field, if the field is visible only, you can edit the field, right? That's the reason. This is the basic permission. This is the additional permission. So if I'm giving the read permission, he can read the permission that the employee object, but he cannot modify the record. I'll show that thing to you. I'm removing the employees, okay? But for SIC code, that is this, I'm removing only the edit permission. See the difference. Now the employee thing will not at all appear on the screen because I have even removed the read permission also. But coming to the SIC code, that's visible, but you cannot put down the values into it. If I'm clicking on save on this, okay, now come back to the customer record and put down some refresh on this. Now what happens here is clicking on edit. So the employee thing, yeah, I cannot see that field at all. But see what's happening here. The other fields have input fields. Why this is not editable field? Because I have made this field only read-only field. With this option, if I am checking this option, means it's editable. You can edit the record. You can put down some value in that. This is only read-only field now. SIC code is only the read-only field because it's read and read. So generally, the naming terminology is different here. Read and edit. But in terms of the field creation, there are different naming terminology. That is visibility. If I am giving visibility, it's available and you can edit the record also. But the other option is read-only field next to the visibility. There are two checkboxes even there also. If I'm checking that, what happens is the field is visible, but you are making the read-only. Means you cannot modify the field because the same options is available, but with a different naming terminology. If I'm giving read permission, he can only read the record. He cannot modify the record. He can only see the record data. Okay. If I'm giving read plus edit, He can view the record, he can enter the record, he can modify the record at any point of time. But in the first option, it cannot do this. That's how you can control with the field level security. Means you can show fields, you can control the readable settings, right? Means you can control the writable settings, whether you can write it or not, modify or not, all this stuff. That's called field level security. You have done that on the two fields, that is employee object and the SSC code. That's done with the object settings, right? So tell me, what have you learned today? On profiles, you can do the application access which is available for this user on this option. These are applications, right? Another thing is connected applications. What connected applications he can use? This profile users can use, because I can assign 40 people to this profile user also, because I have assigned system administrator to 4 users in my current organization. Same way I can assign 40 people to here. If there are 40 marketing people in our company, and the 40 marketing people will have the same settings what is assigned here, right? If we have 50 salespeople, 50 salespeople will be assigned to sales user profile. Okay. Now that profile will be only showing the access to only the sales related objects on the objects. Okay, that's how it works. That's how you have to configure for your company. Okay, if your customer is asking some custom profiles and things, you have to create it. That's most people will go with. Okay, they don't go with the standard profiles. They generally clone from the standard profiles and they will create their own custom profiles, because you obviously will be getting a lot of fields, lot of field level security options, app access, all this stuff, right? Cool. Now, later on, after custom connected app settings, we worked on object permissions, where you can control the tabs, where you can control the record types, where we can control even the page layouts for the record types also. By clicking on it, I will show that to you. Okay. See, I can even control the page layouts. I haven't shown that to you. That's what I can even do in the page layout assignments also, right? But that's a different way of doing it. For that object, obviously when I open that object, go to the page layout assignment or the page layouts. Okay. For that profile, which layout I have to show, there I have to configure. But here I have option for a record type. I can show different things. Now I can show this layout. From now on, I can show this layout. From now on, I can show this big account layout. I can do this. I can even change the layouts also. I can even set the, obviously if I change the layout, what happens? The complete view will be changed. The complete fields which I'm showing it on the page will also change. Everything will change, right? Yeah. And you can also control the default record types, assign record types, availability of record types access, and later on you can control the CRUD access for any object. Later on you can control the field level security of all the fields in the current object, of all the objects in the system, right? Because when I'm clicking on object settings, there are many objects, but I only went to the account object. That's the reason I can see only the account object related fields. Again, I can see everything, the detailed overview of the object permissions here. See the CRUD access: create, read, create, edit, delete. CRED. This is called CRUD access even in Java also, and in database also. This is the general term. All the fields are available. Default on, tab, and varies by record type. There are different pages. That's the reason it's showing varies by record type. If there is no record type implementation, then you can directly see the layout name directly here on the screen. There are different objects. You can configure for all the objects in the system. See, I have around 200 plus objects in my system. For each and everything, you can do these settings. It depends on your user requirement, on your business requirement, right? Now go back to the profile overview. We have done most of the profiling things. This is the important topic. After finishing this, you are going to click on app permissions. So these are general permissions. Okay. There are some applications like call center, marketing, right? Content, knowledge management. These are all small app features. So if I'm checking this option, see, enable case comments. If I'm checking this feature, yes, this guy can comment on the cases. Can he manage cases? If yes, check this. Can he manage call centers? Yes. Check this. Can he update the business hours? Yes. Check this. These are all permissions. I don't need to explain each every option here. There is a clear explanation about the call center features here. These are all special app permissions and content features, knowledge management features, partner management features, sales management, sales application features, whether you can import leads or not. Yes, these are all special permissions. Very, I mean, see what is managed cases. With managed cases, he can administer case settings also. He can implement email to case. He can transfer cases from one user to another user. These are all special permissions, not the general permissions like creating, reading, deleting. That's the basic permissions. These are special permissions which are specific to the app files, sorted, means summarized by, means specially added under the call center setting. For call center means support app, for content tab, for knowledge management tab. If you are using this, make sure that which profile users need the special settings. Check from your customer, enable the features for these guys. Okay. If not, they will be facing the issue. You have to again come back and you have to fix this after some point of time. When you are taking business requirements only, you have to take this information from your customer. Again, going back to the simple thing is click on it, click on check options and save it. Same way what I did for object settings. App permissions, to manage, special access on applications. Apex class access. So what happened? Why we have to do this? For suppose your customer asks you to develop a requirement which cannot be done with button clicks or configuration. We have picked down some. You thought of creating some Apex class and VF pages. That's the only possible way. But after creating that, if these profile users are trying to access the page, they cannot access the page if the page is not added here. For that, you have to first, if your business says that the page developed by you should be accessible by marketing users, click on edit. If this is the page which you have developed, the content account conf wrapper, simply have to add this to the enabled classes. Means these are available classes in your system which are not added to this user. These are added classes to this user. Clicking on save. Means if you want to add some classes, pull it towards the right side and click on save. Right? Got it? Now, enable class contact. Account conf wrapper is available to this guy. He can use this page which is linked with this profile. Same way, for accessing the page also I have to add the page first to this user, so that only this guy can access the page, so that the controller which added now. Going back to the page again, this is VF page access. That's the same way you can do it. These are the available pages. These are add pages generally. If I click on edit, these are available pages which are not added to this profile user, this profile. I want to add, click on this, select, move towards right side. I can even select multiple things by clicking on shift, move towards right and click on save. Now the page which I have added, now you can access. That's how you have to do. You have to make sure what things you have to add, everything. It's like you have to put down some checklist and you have to do this. Okay. And now this is generally part of administrative part. Okay. I'm clicking on edit. Oh, sorry, I don't want to click on edit. I'm going to profile overview. We are done with these topics and enable external data source access. So external data access. So see, because if you are trying to integrate the system with another third-party data sources, if you have done some integrations, it will be available here. I can pull down the things, whether this guy can use this data source or not for importing the data on this stuff. Okay, that I can select it towards right side. Okay, but anyway, it does not enable data source access things which are created in our system. Okay, external data sources. Um, yeah, and going to profile overview. The next option is data category visibility. There, because generally you can create data categories in our system, and I can show, oh, this guy can see these data categories, but generally there's no data categories in my system. Okay, these data categories are useful in knowledge management, especially. Okay, there is no data categories available here. That's the reason it's not showing anything here. I cannot even modify this one. If there is availability, then you can have option to click on edit, and same way you have to move the things from left side to right side and click on save. Means that data category group will be available for this guy, for this marketing super user, and you can use this. You can use this from the time when after adding it. These are simple options. On custom permissions, there are a lot of general permissions. Click on edit. Yeah, these custom permissions are also means you have to first create it, and later on I can enable the things by moving towards session by clicking on add, and I can click on save. Okay, maybe let's go to this. There are one more option in profile settings called general permissions. Okay, that's available here. General permission, system permissions, general permissions like this. These are all app related things, right? Data category, this is a knowledge management thing, special permissions, data source access, all this. These are all app related things. These are all such as you can specify these permissions to, it's not a specific to app wise, it's specific to all apps. It's specific to record access, all this stuff. I want to show you the system permissions first. System permissions, there are a lot of settings, whether you can use manage reports or dashboards or not. Because reports and dashboards are enabled to all users, not only specific to sales app or marketing app. That is the reason these are available in system permissions. See, what are the systems permissions? Generally, see whether you can create database dashboard folders or not, report folders or not. Simple check these options if you want to enable this feature to this guy or not. Whether you want to create the customized dashboards or not. Whether you have to use bulk API hot delete option or not. It's available in data loader, okay? Whether he can use export reports or not. Yes, currently, but I can modify it by clicking on edit. Whether he can write Apex code or not. No, I can even know because he's an end user. I don't want to give the permission to him. Whether he can create letterheads, whether he can create means the templates and letterheads, all these or not. And dynamic dashboards, whether he can create email client configurations, whether he can create translations workbench, translations. All these are general permissions, whether he can create or not. I'm not giving most of the options because he's not the special user. For a system admin, all these options will be checked. Most of the options are checked because we need to give very special permissions to that guy, right? Coming down to the user permissions, these are special permissions. Whether this guy can assign permission sets to users or not, whether this guy manages internal users or not. So I'm giving this option means this guy can create new users, so can edit users in the system also. Because if Accenture is a company, it has global presence. If the system admin is in USA, if there is an employee joining in India office, in Bangalore office, so if a new employee is joining, I don't know what's his name and all the details. No one means forward from Bangalore office to US office to create the data. I can simply assign some user who have special permissions to manage internal users. Clicking on this, I enable this permission to some HR recruiter who is there. She can do that operation for me instead of me doing it from US, this global system admin. So I can enable these features at any point of time by simply clicking on option one checkbox. That can be done. So the same operation, if you want to use some special features in other tools, no way. You have to again work for 6 months long for this type of feature. To enable this, you have to get separate portal for that. You have to give special access for the some people where they can get this set of permissions. More than 6 months or sometimes 1.5 year, 2 years. Now, but for a system administrator, simple one task, check a button in a minute he can do that. So they are minimizing the cost for the business as well as they are minimizing the time for the developers also. That's the reason Salesforce projects are very small, in very small teams. You can get very good business understanding. You have to do very end-to-end applications on Salesforce. Again, in very short time, in less than not more than 2 months or 1 month, you can do very, very great things. Okay, unlike other tools. These are all general permissions, whether he can create roles, whether he can create sharing rules, whether he can create users or not, all this stuff, okay? Whether he can get login access policies or not also. IP addresses, logins also. Like I don't know the IP addresses of the Bangalore office. I can use that set of permissions to one user who can manage that all for all the Bangalore office team. What I can do. These are called system permissions. Let's click on system. Okay. Let's move on to the topic. And desktop client access. So these are some application access like Connect for Office, the system permission. These are the general app applications, connected applications, and even custom applications, custom connected applications. But this is general application. This is offline. There is a desktop offline application where you can enable that. That will be useful when you're traveling to the remote places. You get to sync all the important data in your Salesforce system, and you can take this system with you in your laptop, and you can create some data, and you can come back and sync back to the system again. That can be possible. Okay, that's I'm clicking on edit, so I can click on the automatically check for updates or not. That's a simple operation. This is the only very basic feature. When you try to download the desktop client application in your system, and when you put down your credential, it automatically uses these settings, automatically on, automatic updates without alerts. This application will be automatically updated in your system. This is called briefcase also, offline briefcase, okay, where you can carry it like anything without online internet connection. Profile overview again. No, we have very few things left about IP address settings and things. And again, if this marketing super users will work in India for my company, and they work from morning 8 a.m. to evening 5 p.m. only, if I want to put down login hours for these guys, yes, I can put it. If that is a very secure application, yes, I want to put the login hours on what day, what is hours. On Sunday, no hours. On Saturday, no hours. I can put on this. No hours on Sundays. On Monday, I will put morning 8 a.m. to evening 5 p.m. Now this is start and end date. Yeah, I can give like this. I can give like this for all the work days, weekdays, and for Saturday I can even leave this blank. Means I'm giving only permissions to the to this profile users. They can access the system only on these hours only. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Now when they try to log in after these hours, these profile users, when Anta try to log in after these hours, it throws exception. It won't allow the people to log in before 8 a.m. from the home or even from the office also, because they're working hours to 8 a.m. Because if you are giving additional access permissions after 5 p.m., they may go to their home, and they can even copy some data from their system, which might be confidential. Okay, so you can block all this stuff. Only they can log in only in the business hours of your company. Okay, same way there is IP ranges also. You can even control access of the logins of these profile users with the IP address by clicking on login IP ranges. So if your application is very important application like finance application, where the customer data is very important, then you can put on some login IP address range If I am adding this IP range started as an enter address. Now, all these profile users, if there are 40 people who belongs to this user, they can only log in from this IP address only. Out of this IP address, they cannot log in at all. It will show some error saying that you cannot log in from this IP. It will show some generic error. The system administrator has blocked you, something like that it will show it. They cannot even log in from the browser or from any mobile application, anything, okay? You can close it. I don't want to add it because sometimes there is some issue. My friend is generally he is new to Salesforce. I am teaching him how to use Salesforce. What he did is he went to his own profile and he added the IP ranges, saying that 000 and to 120, 120, 120. The person who is staying in the IP range is currently in some different IP range. What happened here? Currently he is unable to log into his own organization because of the IP range. So when you're doing that, make sure that you don't do that silly mistake. You can do the changes for the other users, not for your users, so that again you can come back and you can delete the settings. So he is system administrator. He is having the developer free edition and he did the IP ranges only for him only. Going to the system administrator profile. What happened is after logging out, once the session is expired, you cannot log in back to the same system. It's completely gone. That's the biggest mistake he done. He completely lost the organization. What all the things what they have developed there, it's completely lost. Yes, you can get there's another way also. You can talk to the support guys and you can things you can do some operation. You can resolve the things and you can get the things back. But it's again the big process. And session timeout. So for these profiles, what is session timeout? I can show if this is a secure application, I can give it only 10 minutes only. So that if this guy is not using the application for 10 minutes, yeah, the session is expired. See what happens to your banking applications if you are not using for 10 minutes, it's expired. What happens to your Gmail application if you are not using for 2 hours, 3 hours, it will be still there. That's not a because the session won't expire for Gmail. I still keep my Gmail apps open for okay, but you can't do the same thing for a banking application because they clear the sessions every 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay, the same thing I can do it for business app also, but here I can't keep that low, but I can give it like 30 minutes because when he's going to lunch, it automatically expires. Again, you have to log after coming to lunch. That thing I can do it. I can click on it. So I'll show the options to you how to do that. 12 hours, 15 minutes is the minimum time. Anyway, that's fine because people don't recommend to give only 2 minutes for the business users because if they are on call for 15 minutes, if they are not modifying in new tab, the productivity will be lost. Again, you have to log in from scratch. Generally, yeah, so I can first 2 hours is the general time, default time. Even it's recommendable. So if your application is not secure and stuff, it's general basic general CRM, go with 4 hours or 8 hours. That's not a big problem. I am happy to do that for my company. Session timeout is another option because this session timeout is available for your organization also. That overrides all the settings. Okay. If I'm giving if my organization session out timings is 2 hours and if my profile setting is 15 minutes, now this profile settings will be only applied to these users. But for the organization wide, all the other users will be having 2 hour session expiration thing. But only these profiles will be having 15 minutes only. Okay. But if this profile user is having 2 hours expiry thing, and my organization is having only 1 hour, still my organization will be even though the users will be having 2 hours also, it automatically expires in 1 hour only because the organization session ID is again special thing because it's the main thing that will be automatically expiring your things. the profile thing will be automatically overridden. If profile session timeout setting is less, yeah, it considers this. But if it is greater than company's thing, it considers the company only. Company session out time. And password policies again, especially this is also available for global password policies and even for this profile use also. If you want to change different password level settings, yes, you can do it. Password expires every 30 days for this profile users only. 3 passwords remembered means if you are doing the same password of the last 3 passwords, it won't save, it will throw some error. It will ask you to put down some very new passwords, not the old passwords, last 3 passwords. And extension will store up to 6 like this. There are different company policies. Okay, minimum password strength 8 characters, no restriction. You can put any characters. Okay, and give me a second, guys. Yeah, and the maximum login attempts is no limit because if he can try for 4 times or 10 times, it won't throw any exception. Okay, but the lockout time is 60 minutes if the attempt is reached. And times generally. So generally, sometimes what happens is I can give the limit as 3 also, so that after 3 times, the complete session will be logged up. Give me a second. Yeah. So yeah, and the lockout time 60 minutes. So if we are attempting for, if I'm giving for, see, the limit is if I'm giving 3 times. If you're entering wrong password for 3 times, it will be logged, and I can even reset the things for 60 minutes. Or if I given as forever means he cannot again try the things. You have to contact system admin for resetting your password. That's the for our option. You know, right? These options are generally common, so you can know the password policies. That's fine. Lockout period is for locking your login for some time. Even though if you know the password, so you cannot log in for that next time. 60 minutes. That's fine, guys. Yeah, I don't want to save. I will click on. Now your complete password profile things are done. So now what are we discussing? Okay, let's talk like point by point. So we discussed about assigned applications what this guy can see, applications what this guy can connect with, applications what objects what he can even control a lot of things on the object level. One is record types, tab settings, page layouts, um, and again record type visibility and as well as default settings and field level security. CRUD access is the main thing for the object. Coming down to the app permissions, yeah, there are a lot of app permissions like call center app permissions, sales app permissions, knowledge center, knowledge app permissions, all these app permissions. You know that you have very clear naming convention there before the checkbox, and again clear description next to that also. You can even go through that whenever you want. And Apex class access, VF access, you simply need to move towards the right side and click on save. Okay, that's you are enabling the Apex classes for these profile users. From then, they can use that. They can use that pages or classes. Otherwise, they cannot. Okay, and external data sources, same way how to you can add the things. Data categories also you can add the same way. Custom permissions also you can do by moving towards right side. Coming down to the system permissions, these are general permissions, not specific to the applications. Okay, and desktop client access is again connect for offline, simple option where you are simply setting some 4 or 5 settings, whether the desktop application will go automatic updates or not, switch off updates like this. It's very simple. Don't worry about that. And login hours you can configure for this profile user so that you can block the people who are blocking out of the towers. Okay, even IP ranges, you can give your IP company IP ranges so that people who are trying to log into your application out of your company will be blocked. Okay, session out timings, the session expiry time of the current session, If the session is expired, again you have to log in from with the username and password. Password policies, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's again same thing. You have these things are available for the organization also. If you go to the security, see the session settings is there, and the password policies also will be here. See, these are settings for complete organization. These are settings for the profile. If you are giving only settings for this, means if you hide, so if you are a company who is in USA, if you hide a 40 people team, marketing team in Bangalore or Hyderabad, so if you don't want to trust them, you can put this type of restrictions only for this profile users, not by creating for the entire organization. Okay, I generally yeah, that's it, guys. Uh, mm, do you have any issues, any questions on this today's class? This is the profiles are really important thing. And yeah, before closing this class, I want to discuss about the permission sets also. What are permission sets? Why we use them? Okay, profiles. You are assigning multiple users to the profile. For suppose if there are 40 marketing people in your company, okay, 40 marketing people in your company. In that 40 marketing people, if you want to give some very special permissions only to 3 or 4 people in that 40 people group, what generally you have to do is you have to get one more profile. Before 22nd version of Salesforce, or I don't know remember the exact version of it. Before that, you have to get a new profile for that 4 people with the same permissions of the profile. We have to clone the same profile, and I have to give the profile to them, assign the profile to the new the 4 users where you want to modify the settings, and I have to assign different extra applications or extra permissions for them. That way, so that's having a small drawback because you are creating a lot of profiles. So it's very tough to manage all this stuff. That's the reason Salesforce have introduced permission sets. I don't know what's the version. It might be 24th or 23rd. Um, so with the permission sets, you can assign different set of permissions for the profile users of same profile. For the same profile users, you can assign different set of permissions. How to do that? I'll show that to you. So go to the user. See what happens is you created a profile. Anita also belongs to the marketing super user. She is one of the marketing super user out of 40 people. But Anita is the manager of all these people. She wants the extra access. Okay, not only the 2 application access. She needs the extra access also, like sales application, all the other reject to tag, LT, supply chain, all the other applications, the other 19 applications. What I have to do? Sorry. Um, I'll go to permission set. Okay, I'll click new permission set. All apps access. All apps access. User license. Again, I'm giving it a Salesforce for Salesforce user people. Okay, clicking on save means. And Anita, she is special. It means she is the head of all the other people. That's the reason I'm doing. So this is the permission set. Remember, the permission set also will be having a similar kind of settings like profile, but we have the less permissions on the IP ranges and stuff. Leave this off. But other things are almost same. See, all the app permissions are same. Only system permissions. The other things you can the like password policies are different. Means if you want for the same profile users, if you want to give special permissions, you can use a permission set. I'm clicking on assign apps. I'll click on edit. What happened? I will click on all the applications. I click on this and I will click on save. Same way, see, I showed you, I can go to the record types axis and I can object axis. I can even give the 4 record types access for the account also. By going here to the account object, I can give 4 accounts access. I can give special Apex class access, VF page access, all this stuff I can give specially. But see, I'm trying to show only the apps access only for now. If you want me to show on the account objects also, I can show it to you. Okay, now I'm clicking on accounts object, and I'm clicking on edit. And here, actually, what happened is for the marketing super user, I have only given permission only for two people, right? Not for the, sorry, I have given access to only 2 record types, not for the 4 record types. But here, I'm giving 4 record types. Or even let's do one thing. I can say I'm giving only these 2 things. Okay, I'm clicking on save. Personal accounts and small accounts. I'm giving this special access to Anita only. Clicking on save. This is a special access. Okay, remember permission sets. I'm giving special access to that user only. So now go back to the user. All app access is the profile permission set name. You have done that very with simple options. Go back to Anita. Before doing that, I'll show the demo what app access are, what apps you can see. All this stuff I can show that to you. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to not to click on edit. I'm clicking on. I have to click on the. Yeah, I have to click on the. I have to click on the permission set. Oh, sorry, no. I'm going to profile user detail page. This is called detail page, user detail page. I'm going to the permission sets, assign permissions. Sorry, assign permission. This is the permission sets. In that, what I'm doing is I'm simply giving all app access. See, all app access. This is the permission set which I created for Anita, right? Remember, click on save. Oh, anyway, right? What Anita got access before. I'll show that to you by logging into the other browser. See what happened here. She got only 2 app access currently. I'm refreshing the things now. See what happens here. What happened? Have special access to all the applications, because if there are other people's added to the same marketing super user, they have only access to easy to tap on the marketing app only. They don't have app access for other apps. But she got special access with permission sets. So if there are 40 people marketing users, yeah, I assign the same marketing user general permission to all the people. But out of it, if there are 4 people, okay, who want special access of all the applications, yeah, I can get a permission set for the special access, and I can add to all these 4 people, like what I did for Anita. Go to Anita's user detail page, go to permission sets, click on add permission set, and the permission set what you have created, you can click on simply add there. That automatically adds permissions. Now I want to show one more demo to you. In the previous scenario, we have given only 2 record types access for this Anita lady, right? So now if you click on this, I have 4 record types, because these 2 things are coming from the profile. These 2 special access is coming from the permission set. Got it? You can check out, right? I have done before you only. That's what I've done. These 2 things I have configured only at the permission set. Now she can create 4 record types also. She is a special user in the marketing user group. She is the head of things, so that's the reason I'm giving special permissions. That's how it works. And so let's do one thing. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's it for today, guys. I hope I think you guys have same thing you learned from the video which I shared. I don't know what's in that video. Is it good or I'm not sure. I think you might know about the profiles and permission sets for today, like with the live demo, right? How it works exactly. Yeah. So in the next class, we'll be working on the other security topic, public groups and queues, why we use them. And apart from that, we also explore about the security settings of sales, security settings. That's in the administration module. The basic things I will try to show you up. Later on, we can work on reports and dashboards. So yeah, we are coming closer to the end of administration. So the thing what we have done with creating the data modeling, creating objects, all this stuff will belong to the developer part only, but it's like very basic development. Like it's called configuration, where the basic business analyst will be working on that. Okay. So the administration part, I'll show that to you. I'm clicking on this. These are the administration guys will be working on completely on this. Okay. Build. So this option is for configuration and stuff. This option is also for configuring the existing application. So in the develop option, it's the complete advanced stuff. You can do it like with Apex class, all this stuff. This is again very simple part. You can create apps, objects with button clicks only. So now in the next week we'll be exploring the very basic things about data management. So this is enterprise application. It's not a very basic application like Gmail where you create the things manually. You can upload millions of records from your data loader or data management ways. Okay, you can translate the application to many languages. You can do you have done with this. We are currently working on the administration part. Okay, very core administration features, how to do the thing. And now later on we can work on security controls also. And company profile, I think I have already shown you that in the previous class only. I think that's what I said you. I talked about company profile and managing users in the previous classes. That's what I have done, Jason. I think you can see these videos. I can in the channel. I will be sharing in a couple of minutes to you. Okay. Okay. That's it, guys, for today. I'm closing the class for today. Okay. Um, let's meet in tomorrow's class. If you have any questions, yeah, you can still in the call and you can ask now. And yeah, Faisal, let's work on your. Um, I will check the YouTube access. What's about have the other class starting in 30 minutes so that I can prepare something. Yeah. So yeah, I have some question from the chat. Thanks for the dumps. Yeah, some of my friends are taking exams. I can share some more dumps. What are helpful for them also. You can take developer for your own certification if you guys want to take. Parallel, you can start preparing for that also. Okay. Um, so I'll go to Elite. So this is playlist settings. It's private. I'll make it public. Save. So I think now you have access to this. You can go and check it. Anyway, I'm sharing the playlist link to okay the chart also. You can copy down. Python. Got it, guys. You can also look into check it out. I don't know you guys are
Okay.
actually yeah
Thank you so much, Mikey.
yeah. I think I haven't added the last two classes. Means at least one class I haven't added. I will add it if it is not added right. Let's check. Um, it's added. I think second the date class is not added. I'll work on that. Jan 2nd. And today's class, I'll add it because we don't have class on Monday and Tuesday because I was packing and was traveling from one state to the state. Oh yeah, second I will do that. Okay, Nikhil. Yeah, I will do that.